Hello. Hello. This is Tammy. I am obviously here today to do a wall workout. We're going to do some exercises that are appropriate for beginner level exercisers. If you're recovering from an injury, if you are a senior who is not really sure of your balance and your strength, these are always some options that are available to you. It's not going to be about 10 or 15 minutes. It's not going to be a real long workout, but just give you an idea of some of the things that you can do when you're feeling like maybe you don't have any options to exercise. So on this one, pretty much if you can stand up and you can support yourself just a little bit, you're in. So as always, you want to make these yours. So if there's something that we're doing that doesn't feel appropriate for you, feel free to adjust it or to leave it out. And to adjust the exercise for your levels to make it harder or to make it easier. I will try and show some options as we go along. So all you need for this is just a space where you've got some room on the wall to work out. A corner is always kind of nice too. There are many different, just a flat space or a countertop, the back of a couch. Sometimes a chair will work as well, but for some of the things that we're going to do, the chair is going to make it harder. Obviously, that would be a little bit leveled up. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to play a little bit of music in the background. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It helps to center me and to keep me on time as we go through here. So the first exercise that we're going to start with is just a push-up. We're actually going to do a wall walk first, and then we're going to come into a push-up. So the thing that we want to remember as we're doing these exercises is we're trying to keep a nice straight line from the ear to the ankle. So we do want to engage the abs and to squeeze the butt a little bit as we come into here. So basically drawing in and up with the tummy so that we've got a nice firm kind of girdle wrap around here. So we're going to start off from here with the hands up against the wall. We're going to take a slight step back from here, and we're just going to walk our hands up the wall as high as we can. And from there, we're just going to sink into that, just kind of melt forward. Get a little bit of a stretch down through those heels, back through the ankles. We're going to come back out of that and just walk our hands back down. Now, if that's uncomfortable, obviously you can step closer to the wall, right? So that will make that a little bit easier just to find your length and your range from there. Just a gentle stretch as you come in. And again, you're just going to melt down towards that wall, coming back up and walk away. We're going to do just 2 more of those. So again, sinking into this, walk those hands forward, right at the wall, and sinking in. Hold it for just a small pause, and bringing that back and out. Now, sometimes that feels kind of difficult, and if it does, you don't have to take it quite so high. Just a gentle stretch through there. And then we're going to walk the hands back down. And from here, we're going to take just a little bit wider approach with the hands, but we want them to be down below the shoulders, because when we take a step back, then that's going to kind of raise those arms up as we get into position here. So slightly below the shoulders, we're going to screw those hands in, kind of like we're turning outwards from there. That's going to put our elbows in a good spot to protect the shoulders and the back. We're going to take a slight step back if you don't feel like you're already there. And again, drawing in and up with the belly, and we're going to squeeze those glutes, and we're just going to bring that chest in towards the wall without smashing the face, right? We're going to come in from here. So again, we're still trying to keep a nice straight line from the ear to the ankle. Squeeze nice and strong from there. We're only going to do 10. Going to hold these in. Go 5 more here. Let's see if I can count. Some days are better than others. And hold for just a tiny pause at the top of it. As we get into position there, let's go 2 more. And then I'm going to bring that back. Now from here, if you're comfortable with it, you can just go ahead and walk the hands in from this position. And we're going to come into a plank pose. So you may be comfortable here. That may be enough of a plank for you. Or you might go ahead and step that back out just a little bit more from here. And all we're going to do from here is just shift those hips side to side just a little bit. Again, you get a nice stretch through the ankles, down around the calves, a little bit different areas through there, as well as on the outside of the hips. Now from here, we're going to draw one leg in and we'll touch that back. I'm going to draw the other leg in and touch back. Now you can stay with the alternating position, or if you're not real comfortable with that, just stay with one side at a time. Bring that knee up. Hold it again for just a tiny pause. We're going to go 2 more on this side. And our goal is not to let those hips sink in, right? We're staying strong and solid through here. We're going to the other side if you're just doing one at a time. We're also trying not to rotate to one side or the other as we do the exercise, but to stay firmly planted onto the wall. Let's relax that down. We're going to go ahead and come back in. I'm going to step this back up and we're going to bring the hands just a little bit higher on the wall from here. And all we're going to do from here is bring those elbows to the wall. So in here, we should be right in line with the shoulders, but the elbow is going to be slightly below. And what we'll do is we'll just press up through the hands and straighten those arms. Now this, again, is just an exercise for the triceps, for the back of the arms. But if it seems like it's just a bit difficult for you, you can bring the hands down from here, make it a little shallow. If you want to make it harder, you're going to step a little farther back. So we can come back from here. That just drives more weight onto it. And you can also do this with one leg elevated, so that just adds a balance challenge to it. So you can take one leg up at a time. Again, you can alternate with those. Or you can say, you know, I think I've had enough. This is good for me. Let's go 2 more. And release from there. So we're going to come from here and we're going to move on to the side. So on this side from here, we're going to move first into working the rotator cuff. So as we do this, basically we're going to roll those shoulders back and we're going to keep the elbows close. And we're just going to let that hand push us away from the wall. So we're going to bring the arm in towards the wall from here, but we've got the elbow glued to the side. Now, again, it just depends on how strong you are in this position as to how far away from that wall you want to get. So as we come a little bit farther out, you'll find it's going to be a little bit more difficult to push yourself away from here because we want to keep that elbow in place, right? Now, if you're not sure about holding that elbow in, you can always certainly use the other hand to just kind of touch and remind you, or to actually almost kind of hang on to it, right? But we want to keep that shoulder back up against the scapula against the rib cage. We're just going to do a couple more here. So not too many, right? And then we're going to come back from the side here, same thing, but this time we're going to keep the arm long. So as we come again, we're going to step in fairly close to the wall, roll those shoulders back, and the arm is lined up right alongside of the hip from here. We're going to bring that arm against the wall, and then we can either just push out and just kind of see how that feels to you. If that feels like, that's not too difficult for me, I think I can go a little more, then you're going to step back out. So this is similar to like your lateral raises, right? If you really want to get fancy and make a little coordination out of it as well, you can also lift the other hand up. You can also just keep the hand to the side or bring it down from here. But what you're working is this deltoid. Through this entire workout, you'll notice that we're still trying to keep that nice alignment through here, beautiful posture, so that we're working the abs, the core, all the way around, all the way through. Let's go just 4 more here. We have 4. And here's 3. And 2. And our last one from here. So on this side, while we're here, we're going to move into a side plank. We're also going to do a hip lift, and then we're going to work on a hip drop that's going to work through the core. So the first part on here is a piece that's really good for, obviously, the hips, but working our obliques as well. We're just going to use the wall for balance here on this particular piece of it. We're going to bend a knee or lift the leg up. It doesn't matter which, because all of the work is going to be in the hip. We're going to bring that hip up toward the shoulder, and we're going to let it come back down. So we're going to lift and lower. And all of the work is right here in the middle. So we're not pushing off that foot at all. That's why I lift my foot up, so I don't try to cheat. So squeeze and lift and let that back down. So again, slow and controlled, get a nice easy contraction. We do want to make sure that we still keep the tummy in and tucked so that we don't let the belly just kind of expand. Our whole goal here is to work that whole midline. Let's go 2 more. And our last one. We're going to set that down. Now on the side from here, again, we're going to step away from the wall. We're just going to kind of post that arm out. So we're not going to let the shoulders come up, but we are going to push that shoulder away from us here. So the hand down, the palm onto there. So again, if your wrists are tight, you might want to stretch that out just a little bit before you move into this, but this is also going to help us stretch that just a slight amount from there. Now this might be enough for you. And if that is enough of a challenge for you, you want to stay with that. If you can bring it out a little bit further, we're going to come back out from here again, trying to maintain that nice straight line. But again, we don't want to have the arm way up in the air. That is a way that you can make the exercise harder as you get more comfortable with it, but I sure wouldn't start there. So spreading the weight through that entire palm, so all the way out into the fingertips, spread the hand out so you can actually kind of grip with your hand. And if you're good with this and you want to come further, again, draw that belly in. We're going to drop that hip down and squeeze back to center. Letting that come from here and back up. So our goal in each one of these is to try and do roughly about 10 repetitions as we come through here. When I'm running my mouth, it's a little hard for me to count sometimes. So if I'm over or under, please bear with me. Go ahead and do your 10 and it's all good, right? If I'm counting right, we have 4 more. We're 4. And here's 3. And 2. Let's go one more time from here. Good, good. And then we're just going to go ahead and step that foot back in, relax that. We can kind of shake that out a little bit, roll the arm around, roll the shoulders back here. So we're going to move into just a piece here that we're going to work into the shoulders. And then we're going to come to the, work a few pieces on the back, and then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to turn this time and we're going to face the wall. And we're shooting to do like an overhead press is what we're doing from here. So you can adjust it again wherever you want. It can be a little bit higher, it can be a little bit lower, but what we're doing is pushing ourselves back like we are pressing. So we're working the entire head of the shoulder. What I'm going to do from here myself is I'm going to start off with a little bit wider stance with my feet so I can push my butt back out of the way and I'll have enough balance as I get there. So I'm going to shift my hips back from there. And while we're here, let's just get a nice stretch, right? So just push the hips back, press that chest down, get a nice long stretch from there. And then I'm going to take my hands out a little bit wider and a little bit lower. And all I'm going to do from here is bring my head in towards the wall without cracking my head on the wall. And I'm going to press away. So I'm nice and strong through the midsection from here. Pull that belly in and up. Now I can have my legs straight. I can bend those knees a little bit as I come into this. It's just kind of whatever feels right for you at the moment. We just want enough to give the shoulders a little bit of a challenge. And sometimes just holding in this position is enough of a challenge. We're going to go 4 more here. And 3. Let's go 2. And our last one here. Then we're going to go ahead and walk ourselves back up the wall. Step this back in. And we're going to turn around to the other side. And we're going to go ahead and do that piece with the other side. I'm going to step off to the wall from this side so you can kind of see a side view of it as we come into it. We're going to work with that rotator cuff first. And then we're going to go into the lengthening away from it. So we'll start off from here again, lining ourselves up on the wall. We've still got this elbow in close. So once I've got the position here and I've kind of got a little bit of an idea of exactly how much resistance I'm getting standing this close, then I can step it out and see if that's going to work a little bit better for me. I'm still trying to keep that nice straight line from the ear to the ankle. And each time as I push away, I am again still trying to make sure that I keep that elbow close to my side. And I can take the other arm up if I want to. I can leave it right on my side. Or I can leave it nice and long. And we are trying, my shirt makes it look like I've got a big pooch out from here, but it's mainly my shirt just dangling from there. So we want to make sure that we don't let the belly pooch out here. We're nice and strong, keep that elbow close. We're going to go 4 more. And being careful, I just noticed when I was talking there that I was rolling my hand to the inside. We would like to try and use the whole top of the hand to press yourself away or the wrist, just a little bit depending. Probably a little bit of both. Let's go one more time here. And then I'm going to extend the arm long. So just like this arm from here, roll the shoulders back again, making sure that we're close. Again, we can start a little closer, right? So bring that arm up against the wall, push yourself off. How does that feel? Can you step away just a little bit? It doesn't need to be a long ways, right? As long as you're feeling that work through the shoulder, which is where we want to feel that, right? Press and hold. We also don't want to throw ourselves way off balance. So we don't want to stay so far away that we're rolling in or out trying to get away from it because it's too hard. Which it doesn't seem like it would be that way, but it certainly can be. Let's go 4 more here. And 3. We have 2. And our last one. Okay, then we're going to come back against the wall with our back against the wall this time. And as we come into this position, we're going to actually come up against the wall. So we're going to start off here, just kind of doing like if we were on the ground and we're rocking the pelvis back. So we're going to press that back against the wall. Then we're going to push back off and create a space underneath the back. So tilting the pelvis forward and then rocking it back to press that back into the wall and coming forward and back. So it's just a very small control of the pelvis. So if you think of this like a bowl of soup, we're tilting down and pouring it out, and then we're tilting and pouring back the other direction from there. So bringing that spine up against the wall and back from here. And we're doing that by drawing the belly button in, right? Not by pushing off with the legs. So from here, we're going to bring these arms back, and we're going to bring the shoulders back and down, and we should be in a neutral spine. So just a slight space behind the low back from here. Now, as we come from here, again, we're going to start with the feet right where they're at, just a little bit of a lean back here, and then we're going to extend the hips forward. So we squeeze the booty, the shoulders are back and down from here, but your shoulders are all just touching the wall. So your head and your shoulders are on the wall, everything else is backing away. We're going to bring this back and down. So this is like when we do a bridge on the floor, except that our legs are straight, right? Now, again, if that feels pretty easy, you can always bring the hands out a little bit further, draw those hips back, and squeeze. Now, as we do that, we again want to make sure that we don't have a big arch in the back, but we're not necessarily pressing real strong into there, right? So when we come forward, we're coming forward by squeezing the glutes and tilting back, release. Good, good. Let's go 4 more here. We have 4. And we want a slight tilt in the chin as we do this exercise so that we don't have a lot of pressure onto the back of the head or the neck coming from here. Now we're going to add to that exercise from here. As we come into this position, we're actually going to use the arms to press ourselves away. So we may want to step back in just a little bit again until we get the feel for how that first part feels. So as we come from here, we're going to squeeze those shoulders. We're going to press ourselves back on. And coming back in. Squeeze. And coming back together from here. So again, you can step that out farther, and that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Now, if that feels like it's pretty easy, you can also bring the arms wider and squeeze out here. The big thing that we don't want to do from there is hike those shoulders up to the ears, right? So anywhere here, because we're just trying to pull those shoulder blades together, let the arms slide back out. My wall's just a little bit rough from here. And again, we don't want to arch the back as we come, but this is also going to open that chest. Working the backs of the shoulders is what we're shooting for here. Let's go just 2 more. And again, being careful not to get that big chicken neck going on, right? We don't want a rubber neck here. And let's go 1 more time. Good. And then we're going to come back from here and sinking back. So this time we're going to work into the abs just a little bit while we're in that glute. So now if you're laying down on the ground, you can do the same thing, right? So we're going to march the feet, or we're just going to alternate lifting one leg at a time, just kind of depending upon where you're at from there. So we're going to go ahead and start back into this bridge position from here. And we're just going to draw one leg in, lifting it up without dropping the hips back. We're going to lift the other knee up. Now again, this is a progression. So if you're not quite ready for it, that's okay. Doesn't matter at all. It may just be something like this and something like this when you first start, right? Nothing at all wrong with that because you get stronger every time. So take it wherever you're at today. Sometimes it's just a day's different, right? Let's go 4 more. And 3. We have 2. And our last one from here. Walk those feet back in. And come in against the wall. Now from here, we're going to come into a wall squat. So this one sometimes feels really good. My wall's a little bit rough, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging here. You may have the same problem. For myself, I'm going to take my feet apart a little bit wider because I'd like to go just a little bit deeper into the squat. So a lot of this will depend on exactly where you need the work and what you're trying to do. I want to engage the glutes a little bit more. So a wider stance with my squat will definitely engage the glutes a little bit more. I'm going to get more quad work if I just bring my feet directly in front of me, and that's fine too. Practicing and playing around with both of them is good. We're just going to come from here, slide right down the wall. Now we're going to sit here and hold for just a second. So you can bring the hands back in, you can bring the hands in front, or you can reach the arms up the wall and bring these down and squeeze. This is also, if this is a little bit much for you to do on the wall, if you have a stability ball or a little medicine ball or something that can roll up your back, it's almost like giving yourself a massage. Let's go 2 more here. And our last one here. Then we're just going to roll back out. And let's come back down again. Sinking down from here. And back up the wall. Now, if you don't need the wall, of course, you can always come out and back it up. Sit it down and up. I just came away because my wall is really rough. It's giving me a burn on my back. Let's go 4 more here. We're 4 and 3, 2, and our last one. We're going to come back up. So we're going to do just an easy stretch just to kind of finish things off from here. I'm going to open up the chest a little bit because that's usually something that's kind of tight for us. We can start just by bringing one arm against to the back of the wall here. We're going to step in a little bit, and we're going to bring this front shoulder to the back as much as we can. So as we're trying to bring the back shoulder forward and the shoulder to the side. Now, again, you can see I'm kind of a ways away from here. If I want to get a deeper stretch, I'm just going to step in closer to that wall and see if I can pull the shoulder a little farther back. I have complete and total control of that. Then I'm going to step back out. I'm going to bring my arm up a little bit. And I'm going to step in again. And again, rotate back. For myself, I'm super tight there. I can really feel that underneath my armpit. It's an area, obviously, I don't stretch enough. And I don't even realize it's tight until I do this. Then I'm going to step back out of that a little bit. And I'm going to bring the hand down. Same thing. I've got a much greater range of motion down here. I can actually get right up against the wall and almost have my shoulders, not quite even, but fairly close. And then I'm just going to relax from there. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So coming off with one arm straight back from there. And again, coming towards the wall there, stepping in just a little bit. Try to pull this shoulder back. And then again, we'll step out and away. We're going to bring that arm up. Coming back in from here. Ooh, this side's even tighter. Pulling this shoulder back. And again, trying to come in closer to the wall. Now, if that hurts, obviously don't force it. We don't want to push it too much. But we do want a nice stretch. So hold for a couple of breaths there. Just let that open up a little bit. Then we're going to come back out of that. And we're going to bring this back and down. And again, we'll rotate back through from there. Opening up the heart. And coming back into center. Then we're just going to go ahead and draw one arm over and across. Just a nice, easy stretch from there. And let's bring that back up for a gentle stretch on the tricep. Seeing if we can touch down in between the shoulder blades. We're going to come back to the other side again. Relax from here. Drop that shoulder down. We're going to bring this all the way back up. And again, seeing if we can touch back right into the middle. And let's relax that back and down from here. So now as we come into place from here, we're going to work on just a little bit into the back of the hip and the ankle. So we're going to take one foot forward, just right up against the wall from there. We're going to take the other foot back a little bit, and it's going to be different for everybody. we're just going to shift our weight forward as we lift that chest up and kind of push back away from the wall just a little bit there. Doesn't need to be huge. We're looking for a nice stretch across the front of the hip. We're also going to get a beautiful stretch on the back of the ankle and the calf. Now from here, we can bend the knee just a little bit. Probably can't even see it, and straighten it out. Bend and straighten. We're not trying to actually lift that heel off the ground. We're just trying to get a little bit deeper stretch into the calf and that Achilles tendon. Now from here, we can shift just the hips. So we still want to keep the chest lifted, nice and tall. From here, we're going to shift our hips side to side. And again, we want to get a nice rotation from there. And then as we're in this position, keeping the chest pushed back, we're just going to reach over and place one hand on the other and just rotate around just a little bit. We're still pushing forward and down with that hip. We're going to walk the hand back over. Same thing from here, just reaching across just a little bit. We'll bring this back into center and we're going to go ahead and step back off. We're going to take the other foot to the front. And again, we can bring that right up against. Now, when we step this other foot back, we'd like to line that right up so that it's right in line with the hips from here. Take those hands, we're going to lift the heart. We can shift the hips forward. We're trying to keep that heel on the ground in the back. Then from here, we can, again, just soften that knee and straighten it out. Soften the knee out, bending just a little bit and straighten that out. I'm super, super tight this morning. And then we're going to go ahead with that soft bend and we're just going to shift the hips side to side. So just like you're sliding right across the line, we keep the heart lifted. And what we're going to do is we should feel a little bit of a stretch on the outside and on the inside of that ankle and the calf. And then we'll hold from here. And again, coming back, resetting, pushing forward and down with the hips. We're just going to walk the one hand over so that we can look over that shoulder and just a nice gentle stretch with a twist, right? You're definitely going to feel a little bit more of a stretch. If you're as tight as I am anyway, you sure will. We're going to bring that hand back a little farther than shoulder width on the other side. We're going to walk back to that. Again, keeping the heart lifted, shifting into that. Let's bring this back into center. We're going to go ahead and step that foot away. Now our last piece, if you're okay with it, and you can do this also sitting on a chair, we're just going to lean back from here. And we're going to let our body just relax up against the wall, and we're just going to shift down. So you can actually reach down for those toes. Let your body kind of hang down. And then we're just going to peel ourselves back up, rolling right up that wall. Roll the shoulders back nice and tall. And again, like today, I'm very, very tight. So I'm going to bring my feet a little bit wider again. And I'm going to come down. I can also push my rump back a little bit. Relaxing down and just let my body hang. And inhale, drawing that back up. Now, the more comfortable you get with that, if you don't have problems with blood pressure and things like that, especially if you do, that's something I would leave out. But you can also just bring the fanny back from here, or you can turn around the other way, or you can just come straight off of here and just reach down, see if we can touch the toes or the floor. From there, we'll just relax. We're going to go ahead and flatten out the back, looking forward, pull ourselves back up with the back of the legs. Take a gentle, easy breath from here. Let the hands come back down. And we're going to call that a day. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that that is useful to you, something that you can kind of add in every now and then, or maybe get you started with something that might be very, very doable for you. Again, you can adjust that, make that as hard or as easy as you'd like it to be. But thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and let me know what you think.